Everybody, it's Lindsay Watley here with City of Clemson Parks and Recreation. I am tasked with running the Christmas parade every year, and I'm super excited about our upcoming event on December 5th, and I'm so thankful for your participation. So if you could take a little bit of time out of your day today to look through or watch the videos that we present you today, we're going to go over some changes from last year. And so it's really important that we get everybody up to date on our new route for this year, so that we can start communicating with parents where to pick up their children. We want to be sure that we get everybody home nice and safe. So if you could watch the rest of this video and send me any questions that you have, my contact information will be on the very last slide. So once again, thank you for participating this year in our Christmas parade, and we look forward to an awesome event. All right, so this year's theme is holiday traditions. It's our 30th annual Christmas parade, and we're, like I said, so very excited to have you. So that theme is very broad. So we really won't be disqualifying anyone this year for themes, and we haven't in the past. But you can, think broad in terms of holiday traditions and what that means for you and your organization. On top of that, we do have a competition component of the parade. So we have 3 judges. They're outside of Tigertown Tavern. So if you get to that area, you may stop and show off your performance, or if you have some kind of cool interactive part of your float or vehicle that you want to show off, whether that be lights or sounds or smoke or snow or whatever, you can stop and show that off in front of those 3 judges. So the areas that we're looking to judge are best overall entry, best float entry, most creative entry, and then best performance or marching group. So some of our marching groups don't stop and perform, so we just wanted to clarify that it is for those who stop and perform as well as those who are performing as they march along the parade route. So those are our different areas in terms of our competition. Really important detail, when is our parade? So just so you know, the City of Clemson Christmas Parade will always be scheduled the first Tuesday in December. So this year that lands on December 5th. We always start our pre-parade activities at 5 p.m. and that allows us for lineup. So we will be lining up during that time period. But we will have activities for the kids downtown. We'll have Grinch, we'll have Santa, hot cocoa, cookie decorating, and other random crafts and things that we're going to provide. And then if it does rain, which we are not going to forecast that yet, we're not going to put that into the atmosphere. Our rain makeup date is December 7th. The procedure, if it does rain and we have to move it to the 7th, is if you can't participate, all you have to do is email me and I'll take you right off the list. And if you happen to know somebody who wants to participate who isn't registered, you can have them email me as well and we can sneak them in there on the 7th. So that's all we need to do. And how do I communicate whether or not we are going to be canceling for rain? I will email all of the participants and I will email them probably the end of the day prior, or that morning right when I come in. So we'll probably have, if we don't make a call the day before, if it's very obvious that it's going to rain, we'll go ahead and make a call the day before. But if it's kind of one of those, maybe it's going to rain in the morning and be fine in the afternoon, we'll probably take some time and get an email out by 10 a.m. Our goal is to run. We don't want to cancel the parade because we understand the logistics that requires in order to do that. So just give us some time. I promise you I will email you. And if you provided me a phone number, I will send a text or an automated message as well. We also put it on social media so you can have all your families or participants follow us on social media at City of Clemson Parks and Recreation. I'll put those on the end page. We have an Instagram and a Facebook. Great place to connect with all of our events and programs. Okay, awesome. All right, so now we're going to be getting to a couple things that are new from what we've done in the past. It isn't so much the lineup is new, it's going to be functioning exactly the same. So when you line up for this parade, if it is the first time you've ever participated with us, we will put out some type of conage. Some years it was a candy cane. There'll be some type of number that goes out in the morning time. It happens before lunch. So if you want to drive by and find your spot, take a picture and send it out to your families, this is exactly where we're going to be. They will be out there before lunchtime. So we go out, we put all of our cones out in the morning for all the people who have registered for the parade. And where we do that is from the corner of downtown on College, kind of across from Bowman Field, right on that corner. And we start with 1, 2, 3, and so on, all the way down to the president's house. So depending on what number you are, you'll be located on the route somewhere along the way. If you really want me to guess where your number is, I'll be happy to try to do that. I'll tell you it's going to be kind of around here, across from Sykes, stuff like that. Each spot is about 2 car lengths. So it's really important when you filled out that registration form that you told me how many people you're gonna have in your party. Because if you're gonna have 100 people out there, 2 car lengths, not enough space. And so if I send you a number and it says number 10 through 14, that means you have enough space for all 100 people. The only number I need on your vehicle is the number 10. That is a frequently asked question. So number 10 would be on your vehicle if I give you numbers 10, 11, 12, and 13 and 14, okay? Most groups have 1 or 2 numbers so that we can be sure that we give you appropriate space for your group. If I give you a number and it's only 2 car lengths and you're like, I don't think that's going to be enough space, that's okay. Let me know, and on the day of, I'll just walk an extra block and put out the next cone. So not a problem. Just communicate with me and I'll be happy to adjust that for you. The only difference about lineup and road closures is that McGew Lane is going to be closed. Okay, so in the morning, we're going to actually close off McGew Lane. There'll be no parking on that side road. So if you're not familiar with the road, we'll dive in deep in a minute and we'll look at that road and where it's located and why we are going to be exiting no longer off of Strode, but on McHugh. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but there will be no day of parking on McHugh Lane, which will impact some of those churches who use those parking spots or people who may work downtown who utilize those parallel parking spots. So just take note of that. I also want you to understand when we come in for lineup, this is given to me consistently on our debrief with the police department, is that people are attempting to come into the parade route staging area, coming towards downtown from like the Seneca side. So coming in from Seneca towards downtown, all right? And then also coming up College Ave into, through College Ave to get to 93 and the staging area. We really don't want to do that. It's really important that you drive around and you come in at the President's Park. So where you're driving down 93 and you see Doughtit on the right and you're passing the President's Park on the left, the President's House and the Memorial Park there on the left, okay? So come in that road. We'll have people checking you in there. And please, 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 for your safety and the safety of your participants, do not attempt to set up or go to your cone until 5 o'clock. That is the only safe time, start time. They will not shut that road down until 5 o'clock. So please be sure you do not arrive until 5 o'clock. Also, please don't let your parents know that they can go into the road closure because that is not true. We really do not want parents dropping kids off in the staging area. The best thing to do if you were in charge of an organization is to have a location to meet off campus if you're going to shuttle people in, or give them their spot number and let them know where to meet and what time. Parking is a little crazy for this event, and it's really important that the parents understand they can't drive into the staging. They can drive and park around Clemson and then walk to that staging area, and that makes it the most safe for everyone. Breeze right through this one because I kind of talked about it already. Our lineup times are 5 to 5:30, all right? That is the time that's a little chaotic, that we're trying to get floats in. We're trying to check everybody in. So just be sure 5 to 5:30, please be patient. It may get a little backed up, but I promise you that we will get moving into our spots, all right? Let's say you get to your cone and there's not enough spot or space for you to park in into your area. If there is like some lawn area on the outside, you can pull through just enough to get the back side of your vehicle or your trailer out of the roadway, but we cannot block the roadway from being passable for emergency vehicles. So please be sure you don't block the flow of traffic and that you're kind of off to the side on the right hand side of the street. Remember, you will need your number, your cone number, and you just need to print that on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of copier paper. I send that the week prior, so you will receive that a week prior. If you need it for your organization earlier than that, just let me know and I can go ahead and cement your cone time. But we try to organize it in a strategic way so that we have people who perform separated from the other people who perform, so we don't have gaps in the parade route. So there's a little science that goes into it, but if you absolutely need to know your cone number, just email me and I will be happy to help you. It is super important that you assemble your float best as you can prior to arriving to downtown so that we don't have too much commotion in the staging area. And once again, the route will travel down College Avenue and we're going to take a left on McHugh Lane. So we'll talk about that a little bit in just a second. All right, so let's talk about some changes this year to the parade route. If you look at the video, we are actually going to be exiting the parade on a different side street. So normally we take a right onto Strode Circle, but this year you're actually going to turn left 2 or 3 blocks prior on McHugh Lane, and that is right in front of First Baptist Church and Fort Hill Presbyterian. There is probably about 4 or 5 blocks of sidewalks there where you can unload your trailers or have your walkers wait to be picked up from their parents. So whenever we communicate to our families about pickup times or pickup locations, we want to let them know that we're going to be exiting off of McHugh Lane and that they can be picked up there. The most important part is to know whether you are going to go on McHugh Lane or if you're going to drive straight. So how do you know which one you are? Basically, if you have any walkers or anyone riding on a float that doesn't have proper seats or seat belts, you're going to need to go left. If you are driving a vehicle that doesn't have any walkers or doesn't have anybody outside of the vehicle in like a trailer or anything, you can actually just continue straight. So we have a lot of like buses and like the fire engines and anything that's got legal seats where you can ride on the roadway, you just continue straight. Please don't turn left because you're going to cause congestion in the unloading zone. So continue straight through that road closure and just exit the parade. The biggest thing is that we communicate with our parents this change because it is different than in the past and we don't want anyone to meet on Strode Circle and not be able to find their kiddos. Also, we ask that there is a designated person for each organization to corral the kids and keep them safe while on the sidewalk. Obviously, you guys will be responsible for checking those kids out to their families, so having some way to identify the proper person is highly recommended. If you have any questions about the change, let me know. Also, remember that this road will be closed beginning 3 p.m. We do allow exits, but it will be towed from 4 to 5 so that we can accommodate the large size of floats and the amounts of walkers that will be going up McHugh Lane. All right, so these are our guys who are going to be taking a left on McHugh Lane. These are walkers. So walkers, you should be festive. Just something that reflects holidays traditions. And I want to say this, I say it every year, we do not allow throwing of any objects, even from walkers, okay? So if you're going to hand out candy, if you're going to hand out little goodies, you can walk the parade route and you can hand it to people on the side, but we're not throwing anything into the crowd. Why? Well, the reason is because we don't want any of those little doodads or candy to get in the roadway and then a child run after it and cause an accident. So we allow you to walk and hand things out, no problem, but no throwing objects from anything or even from the walkers. Try to keep up. We do find that walkers are the ones that stray from the group, which what happens is if we have a huge gap in the parade route, people think the parade's over and they start to leave, and then it causes problems with congestion and moving vehicles while the parade is still going on. You can have a float and walkers. You can have a vehicle with walkers, but we do ask that you be mindful of where your walkers are in relation to the vehicles. So we don't want them between a trailer and the pole vehicle where they could get hurt or smashed if we had to stop abruptly. And we also don't want walkers to be jumping in and out of a vehicle. It's very unsafe. We're just trying to keep everybody nice and safe this holiday season. Also, musical groups. Let's stick with holiday music, please. We're trying to be festive, okay? All right, those are our notes about walkers. We're going to move on to floats. All right, so floats. The biggest thing here is that we want to be sure we don't exceed 14 feet in height. The reason is because of those street lights that hang. We don't want any issues there. We want to be sure the floats are themed appropriately. Since it's holidays traditions, just be festive. And that if any of your floats have a generator or any type of fire hazard, that we have fire extinguishing equipment on the float. So we do not provide that, and it needs to be on your float. They must ride inside of the float, so we don't want anybody sitting on the edges or dangling over the side or tailgating, those types of things. Like I said, you can have walkers, but we just can't have kids or participants halfway off of a float. When we're driving, we want to be sure that our headlights are off so that we're not blaring headlights, and we can just turn those floodlights on. And that you are responsible for the safety of your vehicle and your trailer, all right? If for whatever reason something goes wrong, please pull to the side and don't operate the vehicle unsafely. So use your best judgment there. And keep like a 1 car length between you and the other vehicle, 1 to 2 car lengths. We want you to be safe. We want you to be able to stop appropriately, but your speed should really be very slow. And so keeping gaps as small as possible while still being safe is a priority. Also, no open flames or pyrotechnics, please. Performances. How wonderful it is to watch you guys perform during the holidays. We absolutely love this. DJ Shay will be DJing this year's parade. We will have a stage, very small stage, but a stage across from Tigertown Tavern. And the judges will be located there. So all you do is you stop in front of Tigertown Tavern and you can perform. You get a 30-second setup, meaning stop, put yourself in whatever organization you need to put yourself, have a 2-minute performance, and then a 30-second move along to the next group. If you need music to be played during the parade, you need to be sure to send it to me so I can get it to the DJ and that we have the appropriate music for you. A couple general rules about our parade. We work really hard to be organized and to communicate with you as effectively as possible. So we do ask that you follow a few general rules when participating in our parade. The first is we are going to respect our Santa. Santa is located at the very end of our parade, and Santa is in a sleigh that has been modified from a vehicle. There'll also be elves and the Grinch in that sleigh. So we do ask that no one dress up as a full-on Santa for the parade. We don't want to confuse anyone. Why is there 2 Santas? I'm sure we could all pivot and talk about teleportation, but we just want to have 1 Santa at the end. So if you could respect that, that's great. Santa hats, perfectly okay. Family friendly. We have lots of people. We anticipate 3,000 people or more downtown. We want to be sure we keep everything nice and classy and family friendly for everyone who attends. No impression or use of alcohol or smoking. And I will be sending out confirmations of your MC notes. If you have not done that when you registered, please email me prior so that we can get those uploaded. Remember, the DJ is reading this in the dark and is not familiar with your business or your organization. So I encourage you, for the most impact and marketing impact for your organization, to keep it nice and short and sweet. So a couple sentences that highlights what your organization is and a couple words to the community. Please be sure, like I said, to put that number up as well so that as we do our MC announcements, we can track the number on your vehicle. If there is an animal in your entry, so we have sometimes dog groups and we've had horses in the past, you have to have a pickup crew, all right? So we don't want any of our performances having to clog or dance or ballet over Poopy. So just be sure we pick up after ourselves on the roadway. And obviously, we're going to follow all of our laws here in South Carolina. So no texting while driving and no speeding. During the parade, the speed limit is slow, S-L-O-W, slow. We don't want to be unsafe for any reason, and keep your eyes on the road. Pay attention to what you're doing. I know it's always fun to wave and chat, but as a driver, our responsibility is to get our floats or our vehicle from point A to point B safely. So please, 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 for the safety of everyone, pay attention while you're driving. And our conclusion slide, you made it through. Thank you so much for participating. I absolutely love working here at the City of Clemson, and I know you love being part of our parade and hope it's an enjoyable experience for you. If you have any questions or concerns, if you need some extra communication that we haven't elaborated on here, please feel free to email me. My email is there on the slide for you. And also remember, we do go through and be sure every organization has listened to the safety video. Feel free to send this PowerPoint out to your families and your organization so they too can understand. I will be sending a very short clip about the exit of the parade for your participants in just a little while, so stay tuned for that. But please do that quiz so we know your organization is up to date and ready to go. Thank you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day.